It is time for math, and I'm excited because this is the first time in a long time that we're not taking a benchmark assessment. And I don't know about you at home, but it was really getting to be a lot for the kids here at school. And I apologize for that. It had to be that way because it's just been a crazy year, and there was so much time where we weren't picking up things and we weren't in person. And so it kind of all got crammed into 1 week because report cards, believe it or not, are due next week. And so I needed to have some sort of grade, even though I really don't think it's that fair to ask you questions when we haven't talked about it. I know that that can feel really overwhelming, and I apologize for that. I promise that the next time you take it, it will feel at least a little bit better. So today we are going to start talking about graphing. One of the assessments that you took was about graphing. You might remember that it had to do with some weather. There was like a weather graph, and then there was one about attendance, and there was one other one. It's escaping me right now. But we are going to start talking about graphing. And I'm going to go through this slide, and then there will need to be some things that you do on this slide that you open up on your own. So I will include the link below like I normally do, along with the link for the independent practice. So here's another example of, I'm really bad at thinking. My apologies, it's the end of the day. So I'm really bad about thinking ahead on what kind of worksheets I might want to do. So I sent some home with you, and you are free to do those if you need some extra practice with something. But like today, it's a sheet that I didn't include. So I will include the Word document, and you can either print it out if you have a printer, or you can make something to look the same in a notebook, whatever works. My apologies. So here we go. I'm going to present it. I will have to go back and forth between present mode and like working mode. So here we are in math. So you will need to go back through the link and listen to this counting video. Remember, it's one of your second grade skills to know how to be able to count by ones, twos, fives, tens, and hundreds to 1,000. And it's just something that you have to practice. Set aside a little bit of time each day. Find some fun way to practice. Maybe you write numbers on paper and you read it and then you shoot it in a basketball hoop. Anything that is of interest to you. So you're going to count by twos to 100. Then I'm going to insert my number corner video right here. It's not in yet because it's downloading, but you'll go back in and watch that. We're talking about leaves. Remember, the pattern for October is leaves and color of leaves, and we're trying to figure out what the next pattern is. Some palmate and pinnate leaves. So we make some discoveries today in Number Corner, so be sure to check that out. All right, so here we go. Our goal for today is to be able to draw a picture graph and answer some questions about the graph. So here we go. So why do we use graphs? We use graphs so that it's easier to read information. So if I went into our classroom right now and I asked what people's favorite lunch was, and people just told me the answers, and I didn't write anything down, or I just wrote the words, it would be harder to know how many people chose each thing. But if I put it in a graph, it's an easy way to see what the answers are, especially if it's a picture graph, because a lot of times the pictures have to do with something that they're choosing. So for example, if it was the favorite lunch and one of the options was pizza, well, in my picture graph, that option could be a slice of pizza. So it would show that that was a choice. So here we go. You're also going to go back and watch this video on your own. It talks more about picture graphs. It's a good short little video. I'm not going to play it now because you can do that on your own. So now let's look at some stuff together. So here is kind of my point. So yesterday I asked 10 friends what their favorite fruit is. And here's what they said. Sarah said grape, Parker said grape, Susan said strawberry, Katie said grape, Bob said mango, Terry said grape, Dusty said banana, Hannah said strawberry, Harper said mango, and Georgia said grape. That's a lot of information, but it's hard. If I were to ask you how many people's favorite fruit is grape, you'd have to go in this big long thing and say, okay, I think 1, okay, 2, 3, 4. It would just take longer, and it's not as pretty, and it doesn't help us figure out the data or the information that we asked. So I'm going to take all that information or their answers to my question and put it in a picture graph. So here's what it would look like. Same information, right? All this stuff right here, that was their answer, and I took their answers, and instead of writing it in words, I made a picture graph. So I labeled it favorite fruit, and I have my 4 fruits that they chose: grape, strawberry, mango, and banana. And now if I were to say how many people chose grape, well, you could look at the picture graph and it would be easy to see that 5 people chose grape, or 2 people chose strawberry, 2 people chose mango, and 1 person chose banana. Now you can ask questions about graphs as well. So I could say, how many more people chose grape than strawberry? Well, these people both chose. So 3 more people chose grape than strawberry. You could also say, which fruit was the least popular choice? Or which one got the least votes? Well, I can easily see that it's banana. So picture graphs just make the data we collect so much easier to read. All right, we're going to keep on talking about picture graphs. So here we go. I've also asked what your favorite animal is, and I see that 4 people chose whale, 7 people chose lion, 6 people chose panda, and 6 people chose elephant. And I really need to go back and I need to label that. And you say whale. I know it's not super pretty, but I just realized that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and you should always label the things that you're writing about. Otherwise, people aren't going to know what you're talking about. So elephant. So I'm going to take this same information and I'm going to plug it into my next slide. So let me, So here we go. Favorite animal. I said 4 people chose whale. So here are my whales down here. Now, really important with a picture graph. Listen up. If I was making a picture graph for animals, especially whales, lions, pandas, and elephants, it wouldn't make a lot of sense to have my picture be something that it's not. So it wouldn't make any sense for me to say that 4 people chose whale as their favorite animal, but the picture that I use is French fries. That just doesn't make sense. So you want your pictures that you're using in your picture graph to show what you're trying about, what you collected your data on. So 4 people, 1, 2, 3, 4 people chose whale, 7 people chose lion. I'm going to pause. Sorry, I had to pause. People are talking above in the speakers. I had to change rooms. You're probably still going to hear bus people being called. So my apologies. I will try to pause it when that happens, but I might not get there in time. So it's just what has to happen. All right, so we've been talking about, remember on this slide, pause. All right, another bus. Man, next time I'm just going to let it be said. Probably. We'll see. So we took a poll of what your favorite animal is. 4 people said whale, 7 people said lion, 6 people said panda, and 6 people said elephant. So now I'm building my picture graph. So 4 people said whale, 7 people lion. So I'm going to put 7 lions. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 lions. Then I had 6 people say pandas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 6 people said elephant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, I need to make one more. Copy, 6. I'll make one more to stay down here. Right, so my picture graph makes sense because all the things that I asked people about their favorite animals, there's a picture that matches. So by whale, I don't have a heart because that wouldn't make sense. So my picture graph matches. I have 4 whales because 4 people said whale was their favorite. I have 7 lions because 7 people said lion was their favorite. I have 6 pandas because 6 people said panda. And I have 6 elephants because 6 people said elephant was their favorite. Now I could ask some questions about this graph too. I could say, how many people's favorite animal was whale or lion? So that makes me think that I need to add up those two. So I would look for whale and lion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 people chose whale or lion. All right, let's keep going. Next slide. All right, so here we go. Here's a different graph. Now I've collected data. This one has to do with people's favorite color. So here is the data that I collected. It's in tally marks, a lot like the graph that was on. I'm going to pause it. So a lot of people on our assessments, not a lot of people, on our assessment with the weather, it was showed in tally marks. So I did it the same way here. So I asked people what their favorite color was, and I wrote their answers in a tally. Now I'm going to use that information to make a picture graph. Now again, my pictures make sense. I'm going to be doing blue dots for people who chose blue, green dots for people who chose green, yellow dots for people who chose yellow, and red dots for people who chose red. It wouldn't make any sense for me to make a picture graph about people's favorite colors and use hamburgers. That wouldn't make sense. So I'm going to look at the information I have in my chart using tally marks, and then I'm going to plug it into my picture. I still have it labeled blue, green, yellow, red. So based on my tallies, how many blue circles do I need to move over? How many people's favorite color was blue? 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to move 3 blue dots. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. All right. Now how many people chose green? I'm going to look at my chart over here, the tally marks, and it's going to tell me. And remember, I'm going to use green because this is green and it's their favorite color and it makes sense. Picture graphs are a way to read information more easily. So I see 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 people chose green. I'm looking down here. 4 people also chose yellow.
Students at bus 95, Eric's bus. Bus 95, Eric's bus. Please report to the cafeteria.
Okay, and then last but not least, I have my red, and I see that 6 people chose red as their favorite color. So I'm going to move over 6 dots. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is my picture graph showing this data. Or data is also a fancy way to say answers to my question. So I asked people what their favorite color was. They answered the question, which gave me my data, and then I was able to use the data or the answers to make a picture graph. All right. So now you're going to do this on your own. I've attached this exit sheet below on Canvas. Now it says, I'm just going to walk you through it real quick. It says, I can draw a picture graph and answer questions about the graph. So we've just practiced a few all together, and now you're going to use this data to make a picture graph that makes sense. So it says, yesterday I asked second graders, what is your favorite school lunch? Use the data I collected to create a picture graph. So I see pizza, hamburger, grilled cheese, and pasta. And then underneath is how many people said each. So you will need to create a picture graph showing that information. I would write pizza, hamburger, grilled cheese, and pasta in each one of these. I might go ahead and do that for you. And then, let's go back. And then you're going to create a picture graph. Remember, your pictures should make sense for what it is. So if you were going to show me that 6 people chose pizza, you're not going to draw a banana because that doesn't make sense. All right, so you're going to make a picture graph that makes sense with my data, and then you're going to ask 2 questions, or you're going to answer 2 questions about the picture graph. All right, that's what I want you to send me a picture of, your exit ticket. And then last but not least, you'll have a choice board, and your choice board will be extra math. Well, you'll have to do, may do is independent practice, may do extra math. No, guys, I'm all jumbled. It's the end of the day. Must do exit ticket, must do extra math, and then there will be 2 other may do choices on your choice board, okay? And it might be that you don't have time. I wouldn't spend any more than 45 minutes on math a day. So if you're already at that 45-minute mark and you've done your 2 must-do choices of the independent practice and the extra math, then you don't need to make a may-do choice. It's only a may-do choice if you have extra time, all right? So good luck with this. I can't wait to see your picture graphs. Remember, picture graphs are a way to read data or read information or read answers more easily. So I'm hoping that your picture graphs make our answers to what is your favorite school lunch easier to read. Take your time, make sure your pictures are easily read, and I will see them soon. Good luck.